Good morning, Cityside. I did take the hat off, and they requested that I put it back on. So today, Svetlana has joined this morning to provide you with some inspiration, some feels, and all that good stuff. Once again, opening our last Sunday in January. Yeah, everyone's like, no more snow. It's coming this week. This is a beautiful Jamie Lula tune. Just reminding you that you are perfect. In my eyes, in my mind, in my heart, and in my soul, in my life, I have been searching for something, but you were my dream. You're the light, and you are love. You're perfect, you are golden. You're my light, you're my love. When I breathe, when I swallow, I feel, and when I listen, I hear the most beautiful music out of nowhere. Said you're perfect, oh, you are golden. You are light, and your love said you're perfect, you're golden. You are light, and you are my love. La-da-da, la-da-da-da. When I'm sad, when I'm dark, shallow and in doubt, when I'm trying my best to put one foot in front of the other, oh, you're perfect, you are golden, you are light, and your love said your reflection is so perfect that I'll keep looking at you to keep witnessing the perfection in you, in me, yes. Oh, you'll see. I said you're perfect, you're golden, you're the light, you're the light, and you're the love, and your reflection is so perfect. the perfection in you, golden light, oh love, you're perfect, you're golden, you are light, your love. I hope that today, this week, that song rings in your ear, knows the truth of who you are. So at this time, I would love you to ground yourself. That's what I love about this tune. It's a Ricky Byers-Beckwith song called Oh Yeah Hey Ya. So however that feels good. It feels good to have 2 feet on the ground, anchoring yourself and your spirit and your intention of what you would like for yourself today, tomorrow, this week. Let these lyrics be a reminder of that. I am listening to the music of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song God is singing. I will listen all day long. I will listen all day long. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. I am moving to the rhythm of the Holy Spirit. This dance of life God inspires, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong, keeps me dancing. Oh, my faith is strong. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. There's a silence in the stillness of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a life God is shining. Let us feel it everywhere. Let us be it everywhere. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Hallelujah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so great to have Greg and Nora and Tiffany here. I thank you very much for your ministry. Well, good morning. It was sunny. Now it's still sunny out there. I'm going to call it sunny. We need to shake off that cabin fever. I know my mother and I were talking about it this week. It's just like, yeah, January, cabin fever goes together in the Midwest. I am Connie Hodek, one of your licensed spiritual practitioner, and I welcome you here today. Welcome to everybody out there. Glad you joined us. If you're anywhere near us, we'd love to see you here in the room. And we have a nice crowd here today. So good to see these faces. Thank you. To follow along with our Sunday bulletins, scan the QR code. It's being shown online, and it's lying around here on the chairs. Then you'll have the bulletin, and you can follow along with the prayers and the service and the songs. We invite everyone to spread the word of Cityside. Whatever social media on, share it. Share it out there. There are people that need to find us, so lead them the way. At Cityside, we embrace new thought and wisdom teachings and are affiliated with the Centers for Spiritual Living. We honor all paths and provide a supportive community where you can explore your own spiritual path. Gordon Dickinson is holding vigil today, a meditative state, holding the space for us to have a transformative experience today. Our January theme has been prayer, the power of your word. And today, Cityside's active practitioner team will lead the service with a talk entitled The Journey and Calling of a Practitioner. Your active Cityside practitioners are and include John Adams, Krista Bremberg, Gordon Dickinson, and to be in alphabetical order, Connie Hodek, me, Keith Jacob, Don Mannery, and Rob Wozniak. So we'd like to have everyone stand up for about 2 minutes and reach out to someone and share what your experience with prayer has been in your life. It's been healing. Prayer has been healing, deeply healing. So, this one?
Yeah, it's good. But I love them both necklaces together.
Thank you. Yeah, it's bringing the energy. I tend to wear stones and crystals all the time. Yeah, I have my dad's stuff. Yeah, once. Okay, if we'll come back together, find your seats, and we'll do the vision and mission statement. And nobody's listening to me. Look at that. I love it. Fellowship is wonderful here at Cityside. So if we'll have our seat and take a look at the vision and mission statement. We have changed it a little bit, so you may want to follow along the print. All right, take a deep breath. We envision a diverse and empowered community that is practicing unconditional love in action. Our mission is to create safe and inclusive spaces to explore and deepen our faith. grow in spiritual consciousness, and express our authentic nature. Okay, Don?
Oh, good morning, my Cityside peeps. It's good to see you all this morning. I don't know, I feel energetic today. I don't know why, but I'm just going to go with it. I get the honor and privilege of doing today's reading, meditation, and invocation. And if I haven't introduced myself, I think, my name is Don Manry, one of your licensed spiritual practitioners. So the reading today is, what is a practitioner? The one who attempts to heal themselves or another through a recognition of the creative power of mind and the ever availability of good is a mental or spiritual practitioner. Such as one refuses to allow negative thoughts to control their consciousness. They endeavor to greet the divinity in every person they meet. The one seeking to demonstrate the power of spiritual realization in everyday affairs should believe in divine guidance. They should affirm that their mind is continually impressed with the images of right action, and that everything in their life is controlled by love, harmony, and peace, that everything they do prospers, and that the internal energy back of all things animates everything which they undertake. Every objective evidence contrary to good should be resolutely denied, and in its place should come a sense of right action. They should feel a unity of spirit in all people and running through all events. They should declare that spirit within them is God, quickening into right action everything they touch, bringing the best out of all their experiences, and forever guiding and sustaining. The greatest good which their mind is able to conceive should be affirmed as a part of their everyday experience. No matter the occupation of such a person, they are a mental and spiritual practitioner, and from such daily meditation, they should venture forth into a life of action with the will to do, the determination to be, and a joy in becoming. The professional mental and spiritual practitioner is one who has dedicated their life, their time, their energies, their intelligence to helping others through mental and spiritual means and methods. We're going to take a minute to go into meditation for a few minutes. So just take a deep breath and really just allow yourself to relax into this moment as we go into our time of meditation. Oh, just take a deep breath and begin to bring yourself back into this place and space as I speak today's invocation. It is in this moment that I recognize a power and presence that I call God, love, Whatever we choose to call it, I know it's the energy and vibration of unconditional love, ease, and grace. I know that I am one with this energy, with this vibration. I know that it flows through me. And it is just from this place of oneness that I speak a word of blessing on today's service, trusting and knowing that everything flows with this love, with this joy, with this ease and grace. Knowing that today is perfectly divinely appointed for each and every person here or watching online. I know that it flows with a joy today, and so it is.
Thank you, Don. The feature song today is by one of my favorite vocalists. Her name is Olita Adams. And she sang backup with the group Tears for Fears back in the day. And she has this just fantastic, soulful, warm, rich timbre. This is I've Got the Right to Sing My Song. I know it's late. I couldn't wait to call you on the phone. It's been a while since I've been home. All of this is my own choice. Since God upstairs has given me his voice, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard the breaks, I've got to use it or lose it. I just can't stand and refuse a chance to do what I gotta do. I've gotta sing my song. Oh, sing the hatred into love. Sing a praise to God above. Oh, sing the tears into a smile. Sing until you all feel this is all worthwhile. Oh yes, sing it high and sing it low. Sing from deep down in my soul. Sing it loud and make it clear, so everyone can hear. Could it be that this voice has chosen me? Because I'd be nothing if I didn't sing my song. By the way, may I say thank you for the love, Cityside, that you've shown me all of these years since I've been born. Papa thought I was college bound. Mama expected me to settle down. I'm not ignoring what you had in mind. Neither do I want to sound unkind. Before I give up, I gotta live up to a challenge to do my own thing. I gotta cut loose, oh, and I've gotta say, oh, sing hatred into love. Sing a praise to heaven above. Sing these tears into a smile, yes. And sing with a feeling, 'cause I know this is all worthwhile, yes. Sing it high and sing it low. Sing it from deep down in my soul. Sing it loud and make it clear, so everyone can hear. Could it be this has chosen me? Because I'd be nothing. Said I'd be nothing. I'd be nothing if I couldn't say
Thank you, Tiffany. That was beautiful. That was great. Good morning, Cityside. I am Krista Bremberg, one of your licensed spiritual practitioners, and I'm going to start us off this morning. You're going to hear from four of us a little bit about our personal journey and calling as a practitioner. So I thought where we should start is to really talk about what that journey and that calling look like. So the journey itself is somewhat similar for each of us, and it begins when we start taking classes. So there are 6 classes that are really prerequisites before you get into practitioner training. And those classes are meant to lay a foundation. The foundations class, the spiritual principles, financial freedom. What you're learning during those classes is really what is science of mind, who is Ernest Holmes, what do we believe, how do we think, how do we pray. So all of that knowledge gets imparted upon you. So there's a learning process, certainly, that's happening. It's intellectual. But underneath it, there's also this opportunity for you to start to pray and meditate and contemplate. And one thing we know for certain about prayer is that it changes things, right? It changes things in our life, and it changes us as we move through it. So after you've reached those or completed those prerequisites, then practitioner training stands before you. So that's a 2-year process, and each of those years is marked by 3 10-week courses. The first year is a real deep dive into understanding and healing ourselves. It's really very personal. It can be very vulnerable. The nice thing about prac training is that you do it with a cohort. So where you might have different people in each class that you take with the prerequisites, once you get into practitioner training, you're with your group. And you guys are going to go through prac training together. So that's nice because it creates a safe and stable community so that you really can go deep, you can be vulnerable, you can start to look at some of the ideas and thoughts and behaviors that are really operating in your life that really don't serve you. Because as Don talked about in the reading, our focus as a practitioner is to help others. And we certainly can't do that if we haven't helped ourselves first. So we really need to understand where it is that we are relating to the world and how that's showing up for us. So you've got this education process that's going on for sometimes 4 solid years. And at the end, there's a test and oral panels. And so there's that process. But again, underneath the prayer, the depth of prayer and contemplation and meditation continues. And your consciousness is shifting. And things are changing. Things will change in your life as you go through this process. The people and things in your life that are meant for you, that will strengthen. Those ties will strengthen. Your relationships will strengthen. And the things and people and ideas that don't serve you will start to fall away. So there's a tremendous shift that happens for all of us as we go through this process. And it starts with your first class. And you guys know that if you've taken a class, you recognize the profound nature of some of these changes as they are happening to you and through you and as you. So that's kind of what the process looks like. The calling is something very different, right? And it happens at different times for each of us. For some people, the very first time they sit down with a practitioner and receive prayer, immediately they know, I want to do that. I want to be a practitioner. I want to pray with people. I want to help people. It's a moving experience that they have, and they just know from that moment that that's what they want to do. Others of us take classes. We enjoy the classes. That process itself is something that we find enriching, and we love the personal development. We love the development of our own consciousness and our own mindset. And then at some later point in time, we start to recognize how we will show up as a practitioner. So for me, that happened during first year of prac training. I had entered prac training with a 25-year corporate career. And that's who I was in the world. and I exited prac training as a hospice nurse. So I didn't go to nursing school while I was also in prac training. I had that nursing license, but I had no interest or understanding of how I might use that until I got into prac training, and there's a pretty significant dedicated portion during the first year where we learn about death and dying, bereavement and grief. And that really struck me, that really spoke to me. And I recognized that I wasn't only comfortable and interested in that topic, but I was gifted in that topic as well. So I thought, this is how I'm supposed to use this nursing license. So that was a tremendous shift for me. My career did a 180. So there's a lot that goes on in terms of the process and the journey of becoming a practitioner. The calling comes at different times, and it can shift as we go. So there may be, somebody who shows up as a practitioner in one way today, and then 10 years from now, there's something different that they want to share. But it's always interesting, and we have 4 very different perspectives today on what we do as practitioners and how we show up as practitioners. Obviously, the foundation of that is prayer, and that's a thread that you will hear and see throughout all of the conversation today. So I'm going to invite up Connie Hodek to tell us a little bit about who she is as a practitioner.
Thank you, Krista. Please forgive me, but I'm having a hard time breathing. So you get to see my face for a change. I came to practicing as well through the classes. I moved to Chicago. I'm dancing here. Chicago 12 years ago. And I was here for 8 months. I'm going, I haven't met anyone that's, like me. There's how many millions of people around here? There's got to be some kindred spirits and, some people who are like-minded. So I went online and I started looking. I'd been on my new thought path for, probably another 10 years at least. And I found Bodhi while I was still at Apollo and listened to all the things they had online. I went, yeah, these are the people. If they're talking this way, this is it. And so we started the moment I walked through the door. Everybody was smiling, and I heard conversations. It was all clicking, ding, 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 ding. And I've been on this path here in Chicago ever since. I started with a class right off the bat, Essentials of Ernest Holmes with Reverend Darrell Jones. It was the funnest class, I have to say. Take a class from him if you can. And from there, it was one class after another, and I was more than enough prerequisites. Something like 8 or 9 classes later, somebody come up to me and said, "Don't you think you could be a spiritual practitioner?" And I went, "Nope." Right. Nope. Well, and it was a gentle into for me. I went, well, I'll take the first year, see how it goes. There's always healing, and I had done a tremendous amount of healing when I had come to Bodhi, and then here to Cityside. So I tentatively went into the first year, and it is deep. It is intense. It is wonderful and scary and all the things that life is. And I was with a very wonderful group, and I was led by Reverend Rainbow, if you remember her. Bless her. And so I thought, okay, I'll decide if I'm really going to be a practitioner sometime, if I am or not. Well, I went through the whole first year, and I went at the very end there was something that just clicked. And it was, yeah, I can do this. I can be there for somebody else. I can be there and hold their sacred space and be with them. And one of the things that you do throughout practitioner is you go to spiritual practitioner sessions. Now, some call it sessions, some call it counseling, some call it coaching. It's all the same. It's being there for you. And now they will work with you at a spiritual level of awareness, focusing on the inner changes, in order to manifest the desired outer result you want for your life. Now, what does that entail? Well, a practitioner will sit with you at a scheduled time. You'll schedule a session with them, and they will hold a sacred space for you with no judgment and lots of love, creating a space that is safe, offering compassion and understanding, listening deeply, and encouraging and allowing the explanations of the challenge you are facing. They will prompt discussions, and they will share questions to discover your old beliefs, assisting you in releasing those and replacing those and choosing to eliminate the restrictive resident blocks that you have that are keeping you from the life you want, the consciousness that you want. They help you stay in that search. We can get sidetracked. If you're like me and I talk a lot, you can get sidetracked. But they'll help you come back into focus. And will help you to fully understand what it is you truly want in life. And to aid you in making that shift in your beliefs. Now, everything is kept in confidence. Confidentiality is a sacred trust in our minds. Everything is between you and the practitioner. It goes nowhere else. Excuse me. It goes nowhere else. I keep it in. So know that you are in a very safe place. Now, using spiritual treatment, the practitioner will pray with you and for you, trusting the divine source always and ever. And it will help you with healings, healings in relationships with yourself, first and foremost, and with others. Healing around your career and your life work. Healings with money. Healing with health. With death and dying, loss and grief. All elements of your life. All of it. Healing. And wonderful things will happen. You can't even guess what they will be, but the divine source always and ever supplies. It will be beautiful, I promise you. Now we have a group of people who do these sessions: John Adams, Gordon Dickinson, myself, Keith Jacob, Don Mannery, and Rob Wozniak. And you can find us online, and you can contact us, and then we can set it all up and get you started in this. And I would encourage it. Try it out. You'll find that it is changing. It will change you in the most wonderful ways. And we will celebrate those changes with you. And it is beautiful. Now I'd like to share with you or introduce Rob Wozniak, and he will share his journey.
Hey, I'm Rob Wozniak, one of your licensed spiritual practitioners. Thank you so much, Connie, and also Krista, for that wonderful introduction to the idea of practitioner and how we get here. So for me, what I thought I'd talk about today is kind of, what I'm bringing to this community. I'm really interested in bringing those teachings and practices that bring about miracles, which kind of all our work is geared towards. But I really want to define for you that it's this shift in perception, this changes of mind and changes of heart that we can't do on our own. And I think that's the important thing. And I want to talk about two experiences I had, that really motivated me to continue on this path and do what was necessary to be a practitioner. The first was an experience in foundations class, which we teach here. We were asked to pray for a different perspective on a situation that we were struggling with. It was like a relationship or a situation. And I had really been hanging on to, at that time, a resentment towards a cousin who I believed had, it disrespected me and insulted me at a family wedding, and it was really eating me up. And when I prayed for a different perspective, I saw that my cousin had this idea about me, regardless of whether it was true or not, had an idea that caused a lot of fear for him, an experience of fear. And when I saw that, the resentment was completely lifted. And to this day, I can't recall any of that upset, which is amazing to me. I was like, what is that? How did that happen? And the second time was, I think Krista talked about, how we're trained in the sort of the evolution of our growth as practitioners. And I remember the first time I prayed for someone after service. And I had done a lot of training to that point. It was a lot of reading, a lot of writing. But when someone was actually in front of me and asking for prayer, I was crystal clear that whatever they were telling me about their situation, whether it was their finances, their relationships, the situation at work, it wasn't the truth of who they were. In that moment, I was just so aware of the spaciousness, this expansiveness of them that could not be expressed in words. It's like I knew their wholeness. I could feel the love that was inside of them. And I thought, like, this is reality. This is where I want to be. This is what I want my ministry to be about. So, I've made it my business here at Cityside to bring teachings and practices that complement and augment, a lot of what we learned in Science of Mind and have to do with recovery. And by that I mean, releasing old ways of being and thinking, false beliefs, and especially treating addictions. So, I do provide sessions. Another thing I like to do, and I've been doing, is really designing workshops, as a means of introducing the spiritual underpinnings of recovery and especially forgiveness, and really get you started on those practices. Many of you, I'm talking a lot, and I'm not a person who talks a lot very often. So many of you know that I'm very active in 12-step recovery. It works for me. I think it's great. But anything I do, whether it's an addiction workshop, it's really to get you in touch with your internal guidance mechanism that we all have, and find the recovery path that works for you. I'm also very passionate about A Course in Miracles and the practice of forgiveness that's presented in that teaching, which is very different from how the world thinks about letting someone off the hook. It's more about acknowledging someone's wholeness. And so I've created workshops, and in the future I plan to organize study groups to help people get started on a practice of A Course in Miracles. Many find it daunting, and so I love to be able to assist with that. And I'll end here. Because I love to present these ideas, I love to present these topics and talk about them. But I want to emphasize that my starting point, for anything I do here is always, like Connie touched on this, Krista touched on this, it's really this idea of affirmative prayer that we learned, starting in foundations, and the power of that to change our minds, to create a different reality. And also the creative process, and that is just so central to what we do here. So thank you for allowing me to share my experience this morning, and I'd like to call up John Adams, our next practitioner.
Thanks, Rob. Oh my goodness, such beautiful, powerful people, huh? I mean, my goodness. I want to talk to you a little bit about my journey and also about the practitioner in the world. My journey was very similar to others. I had taken a lot of classes, and I was reflecting on it, I think, with somebody at some point, and realized I had already done like most of the prerequisites. And I thought, well, what next? And I know some people feel it as a calling to become a practitioner. I just was so curious about all of this material that I just wanted to go deeper and deeper. And so I stepped into practitioner training. And then I think once I was in the training, I found the calling for it, you know. I will say that being a practitioner, we are licensed through an umbrella organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. They have a rigorous licensing program for both practitioners and ministers. And I say that because I think it's important for us to remember that there really is this call to a very high, deep standard, a very high, deep consciousness around this work. And we are required, as even in our licensing, to renew our licenses every other year. And there are required continuing education units that we have to do, continuing service units that we have to do. And I think for most of us, it's really easy to do those things because we're already curious and called to learn more and go deeper, and we're already called to be of service. So accomplishing those things never seems to be a problem, but I'm glad that they have those standards. I think in the world of form, being a practitioner shows up in a lot of different ways. And in the world, very much like what our ministers do, we show up in all kinds of spaces. We show up in our work spaces and in family spaces and in all kinds of situations and spaces with this consciousness. And the people that we're encountering may or may not have any idea about this teaching or this philosophy, but we still hold the consciousness. We still hold that unconditional love. We still hold that idea that Rob was just talking about seeing the wholeness of the person that we're with, seeing their perfection, seeing what's underneath sort of the surface circumstances or reaction to circumstances that may be happening. And that's our call, to really see that in every single person that we encounter and in every single space. And so for practitioners, we go out into the world and we do things like volunteerism, right? We're in homeless shelters and hospitals and hospice care and other places where volunteers can be of service to people. We have, at Centers for Spiritual Living, offer additional training and professional development for practitioners to hold space for people who are incarcerated, to hold space for people who are going through deep grief, as Rob and others have mentioned. And this training helps us understand how to show up in the best possible way for people in those circumstances. And we understand that people are not their circumstances, right? So we're always about transforming and transitioning through those. And we're also alive. We're also human beings in the world. And so we're also having our own life experience, and life happens. And so we're always doing the work. We're always faced with circumstances or situations that are not necessarily the ones that we want. And so we go in and we look within and we understand our inner perfection and we lift that up and we understand how to transition out of that. And the more we do that, the more we can help others do that. And that's what really gets me excited. I love the idea of personal transformation. I love the idea of being able to uncover that limited belief that has been holding me back or maybe holding someone else back. Uncovering that, realizing that, praying on it, holding that up in a higher consciousness, and then seeing the transformation happen. I think every single practitioner's had that experience of either for themselves, almost always for themselves, and always with working with someone else. That is just the most miraculous thing. And again, it is not me doing the work. It is coming through me, as me, for me, right? We talk about that all the time, the different levels of consciousness here. And so I want to just take a moment today, and as we kind of come together and we kind of wrapping up a little bit about practitioners, to just invite you to think about how a practitioner may serve you with something that's going on in your life. If there's a situation that you feel like having a conversation, having someone hold space and hold prayer for you is right for you, I want you to take advantage of that. You have a beautiful group of practitioners here that I get to spend a lot of time with, and I want you to as well. And this morning, what we're going to do, rather than praying out as we might ordinarily do at the end of a talk, we're going to invite you to come up and receive prayer. And so I'm going to invite the practitioners to come up to the front. And we're going to do what we always used to call 1-minute miracles. And so I'm just going to invite you to, if there's something on your heart, if there's something you would like us to hold prayer for, to come up and receive that. I would ask you to think about whatever it is that you want held in prayer. You do not have to tell the whole story. All you have to do is say a word or a phrase. So for example, I might come up and ask Krista to pray for me to have peace in my workplace. She doesn't need to know the whole story of why. She just needs to know that that's what I'm looking for prayer for, right? And because practitioners often get into the zone of connecting to their higher inner truth, I would ask you to just say your name and then your prayer request. And we're going to do that. We're just going to take a minute and have some 1-minute miracles right now. So if there's something you would like prayer for, please come up. There's such a beautiful, bountiful sense of love and peace in the room. Just the holding prayer for one person holds it for all of us. That when we know the good and the expanded consciousness in any particular situation, we know it not just for the person in the moment and the person that we're facing, but we know it for everyone. And so even anyone who may not be present with this prayer, I feel like they get a little inkling, a little tingling, a little light sparkling to bring into their awareness, and an invitation to just know something more transformative is available to and for them. And so I just close this time of prayer by just recognizing and blessing our Cityside community, just knowing that we can hold each other in prayer, that we can be vulnerable with each other, that we can be truth tellers with each other, that we can simply be our authentic selves with each other. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the divine and beautiful consciousness of each and every single practitioner. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be of service to this beautiful community. So grateful for all of this. I simply call it good. I know that it is done, and I release it into the action of the law, calling it good, calling it done, calling it complete, calling it love. And so it is.
Got to gather myself here a little. And if you really would like prayer, and Gordon will be in the back following service, and you can walk up to any of us anytime and ask for prayer, always and ever. So Cityside is a community-supported organization, and each week we practice conscious giving, which allows us to make this service and all the offerings and classes and everything, the music, all of it is beautifully done. But it's all supported by the community. We have several ways to give to Cityside, and you can find these by scanning the QR code again at your seat or on the screen. And the easiest way is text to give by texting the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 312-757-8111. And you can always give to us via check, or cash. We have the box here. Feel free to leave it or request an address and you can send it in. So if you will please join me in the giving affirmation as we bless these gifts, these beautiful gifts. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know.
We thank you for your gifts. It is heartfelt. We are very blessed. Thank you, thank you. We have some announcements. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are online, subscribe to our newsletter. We keep you posted, especially with new classes coming and changes in the themes each month and the speakers. So go online to our website again and sign up. And our special thanks to our Sunday team for making today's service possible. Keith and Dom, it all went well. Woo! Technology. Yeah, and then Tiffany, Nora, and Greg. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then Greg and Joffrey, Willie, Jason, Gordon, Don, Krista, Ron, Rob, Paige, and then always Reverend Linda and Reverend Amy for holding the high watch of Cityside. Join us next week as we begin our February theme, Love in Real Life, with speaker Reverend Daryl Jones. I'm saying this, it's going to be good. Reverend Jones, but love in real life. That just kind of, ooh, yes, all right, I like that. And finally, if you would like to receive additional prayer, like I said, go to Gordon or any of us, and you can get prayer during the week. Go online to the website and ask for prayer. We can call you, we can Zoom you, we can do it. You just request and we will do it. We will hold you in the highest anytime. So please do that. Go to our support tab. Now, this has been really wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and for listening to us. Love you all, always and ever.
Thank you so much, Connie. And I just want to give a shout out to all the practitioners. Those of you who were present that just held space today, that was really beautiful. I think what I loved about it, not only was it beautiful to witness, but there's something really special as you hear the whispers of prayer, within the space. That's really special too. So thank you for your hearts and what you gave to each and every one of us, inspiring us in that place and space. So I would love you all to stand up, shake it, move your hips, do whatever you need to do, move your body. You've been sitting, get energized. You go walk around the space, whatever you would like. Cityside. I'm a stranger in a strange land, but somehow I feel connection to the sands. We all look like family. We share the same blood and we share the same needs. We are people of the sun, yeah. We come from different places, but yet we're still are one. We dance to the same beat. If we learn to love each other, our lives will be free. The world is a family now. Brother, sister, you with me now. Let's give each other what we need now. We need more love, more love, more love, more love. Two fish in two different seas. They swim the same water, they share enemies. We live in two different countries. We speak in different tongues, but there's love in our faces. Every man in every domain, born with the same blood, running in blue veins. We all share the same spirit. We use the voice of love, and we know that we hear it. The world is a family now. Brother, sister, you with me now. Let's give each other what we need now. We need more love, more love, more love, more love. The world is a family now. Brother, sister, you with me now. Give each other what we need. That's right. We need more love, more love, more love, more love. From Asia to Africa to India to home. From Asia to Africa to India to home. To Russia to China to everywhere and anywhere you call home. Columbia College, my sweet students, a diverse body of love. Yes, where is your home? Where is your love? We need more love on the north side, east side, west side, south side of Chicago. This place we call home. We need some love. Thank you. Happy Sunday, everyone. Stay warm. We'll see you next week.